Today we are celebrating the life of John Gibson Barron, who was truly the epitome of an activist on issues of substance and historical importance. He was a longtime general manager of the Laemmle theater chain, and as such was featured in the very first full-disclosure video production tackling the issue of public safety in the city of Santa Monica. John graduated from McQuay Jesuit High School, which along with his close family ties helped to build the strong ethical and spiritual values that became the mainstay of his adult life. He went on to UCLA to obtain his master's degree in film and television. He brokered that into his career with a management position at the Laemmle theater chain. He spent the last few years of his life working on full disclosure, both on camera and behind the scenes. People who worked with John were inspired by him in their struggle to support the rule of law. He was a fighter, always standing up for what was right and just in every issue. John Gibson Barron passed away on June 23, 2014, just shy of his 70th birthday. He will be sorely missed.
John Barron made an early mark on history when he was a student at Columbia University. He began modestly investing in the stock market, buying shares in Allied Artists Pictures. He followed that start closely and watched his investment management reports carefully, especially the dividends. He was a stickler for detail, ethics, and accountability. So when he discovered a gross corporate malfeasance, he diligently filed a shareholders' lawsuit without any previous legal experience. He had challenged a giant and won. That case to this day is part of history and is cited in case after case. It is known as Barron versus Allied Artists Pictures Corp. All one need to do is Google this case and you will find the pages and pages of references to the precedent that was set by John Barron's challenge.
He is going to continue to instill that sense or that feeling of, you know what, in spite of the odds, you can make a difference and you can win.
Although John never wore his religious beliefs on his sleeve, he had a deeply spiritual side that was evident through his love of the English literature and his collection of treasured books. John graduated from Columbia University with a degree in English literature. He went on to UCLA, where he obtained his master's degree in film and television. He went on to work for Max Laemmle of the Art House theater chain. Laemmle embraced the young John Barron, whose work ethics and values he shared. John became involved with the Full Disclosure cable TV program in 1992 in Santa Monica, after the body of a homeless woman was found in the dumpster behind the Laemmle Theater. Shortly after John's appearances, City Attorney Robert Myers was fired by the City Council, and policies started to change. Eventually, John would run unsuccessfully for City Council, which taught him one of the greatest lessons of his life. He was often quoted as saying, "Thank goodness they can only hold elections every 4 years. I cannot make this mistake again for another 4 years." After serving as theater manager for 14 years, Max Laemmle promoted John to general manager. He left this position following Max Laemmle's death after serving the company for 32 years. While John was general manager, it was his role to supervise the construction of many renovations and new theater construction projects, one in particular in later years that was located in the city of Pasadena. John was confronted with a serious ethical dilemma, where he observed that the building and safety codes were not being enforced by the city. These codes were intended to protect the public from collapsing roofs and walls caused by earthquakes and fires, but there was adamant denial by the city and the Laemmle family. Confronted with this knowledge, John's conscience would not allow him to walk away, and in spite of his battle with cancer and other medical problems, he filed a lawsuit against the city of Pasadena for failure to enforce the building and safety codes. John's conscience was clear that he did what he could to uphold the public safety for the patrons of the Laemmle theaters.
I believe that John's greatest asset was his ability to size up a situation, look within the guidelines of what is available to address that situation, and then present it in a manner that lays out the objective, how we arrived there, and if there was a just result, what that result should be. To have such a whole personality, a whole spectrum of character, that regardless of where you find yourself, in front of the camera, behind the camera, doing the research, that one's heart is fully engaged in that process. I think that kind of sets John apart from the people that I've worked with over the years.
During the last few years of John Barron's life, he spent precious time reviewing his work with Full Disclosure Network, both as a producer, associate producer, editor, and writer on The Prosecutor and the Presidency, which featured all the U.S. Attorney Generals and special prosecutors, and many of the half-hour, two-part series of the Emmy Award-winning cable TV programs covering public safety issues. In 2001, John Barron was honored with an Emmy certificate for his participation in the award-winning series that featured Los Angeles County Sheriff Leroy Baca. While in hospice care during the last days of his life, he reminisced with his friends about his treasured books and collections of classic movies and vinyl records, almost as if he was thinking they would still be with him forever. He shared that he had made his peace with God, referring to his ongoing constant struggle to uphold those values and ethics that were so deeply instilled in his being.
In working with John, what I saw, someone that was not only caring, but easygoing, happy, appreciative, generous, and someone who was just downright real.